All right, people, welcome again to MG Sports TV, and thank you very much for joining. And we're going to discuss Leon Bailey in a short second. But before we do so, I want to say, guys, thank you very much for the continued support that I'm getting towards this channel. I'm telling people it is really, really overwhelming with regards to the support that you guys are giving me. So I would really appreciate if you guys continue to do that and just hitting that like button and sharing the video and the content as much as possible. Now we'll be discussing Leon Bailey. An interesting one, a very, very interesting topic. Won't be a long show. Let me tell you from now, it won't be a long show. Reason being, because I don't necessarily want to stay long on the topic, but we want to discuss Leon Bailey. But before I do that, I want to take a small sec, just a small sec to give a shout out to our sponsors, and you can check them out at SAP Sports. Now, for those who don't know, Leon Bailey's story is a particularly strange one, but it's a very, very interesting story as well. Now, three notified club, Genk, Bayern Leverkusen, the three most noticeable club are most the bigger clubs that he would play for: Genk, Bayern Leverkusen, and Aston Villa. Now, why am I discussing this? Let's start by saying that Leon Bailey has been having some troubling few months under with Aston Villa, and for sure I want to just tell you what is likely to happen and what we're looking forward to see from Leon Bailey. Now, i.e., Leon Bailey last season didn't kick off well, but let's track back to where it's coming from. So at Genk, Leon Bailey played at 77 appearances, scoring 15 goals and 21 assists. That's a total of 36 goal contribution. That was when Leon Bailey was in his younger stages, 19, 20, well, 18, 19 years old. Really, really young at that stage. And these are the numbers that he was delivering at that particular time. Now, big clubs came calling. And we have seen the story. He did a recent interview stating that clubs such as Arsenal, Manchester United, Bayern Munich, but his decision was to go to Bayer Leverkusen. Understandable, because, as you know, he might see himself, as he said in an interview, at that stage he wanted to play games, consistent game time, and to be able to develop in his game, which in turn I think would have been the right move. No, you see where he's in the Premier League right now. And it's not that easy as most people would have think, or most people would have want. That transition is not that easy. Nonetheless, he made a big move to Bayern Leverkusen with a total of 156 appearances. That's a significant amount, registering 39 goals and 26 assists. That's a total of 65 goal contribution during his time period there. Also registering in the Europa League team of the season. That's 2 seasons ago. So these things have to be notified. We have to look at these things. These are big factors. So young, gel, up and coming star. At that point in time, Bayern Munich still were knocking on the door because they wanted the replacement of Arjen Robben. Same style, similar left-footed player, cuts inside on the right hand side, cuts inside on the left foot, far post, near post, whichever he seems to select. That is the type of player. That is the quality player that Leon Bailey is. Now, other than that, next move coming up, Aston Villa. And during that time period, the market value for Leon Bailey was in the region of 35 million euros. I think the sale price was actually 32. That was the purchase price. Leverkusen paid like 16 million euros, and his market value was about 12 million. So Leverkusen saw what they want from him, and they went out and spent on that cash. Nonetheless, now he's at Aston Villa under it was purchased by Dean Smith, actually. That was the manager who purchased it because Dean Smith saw Leon Bailey as a vital aspect into pushing Aston Villa forward and to make themselves a more how would I put it? Made themselves a challenger in the league, not say title challenger, but at least push forward up the table in rankings. So they wanted to have wit. They wanted to have a pacey player. They wanted a player who can deliver goals and assists. So they want a little bit more creativity. Dean Smith went out and get Leon Bailey. Unfortunately, at this early stage of the season, Dean Smith was sacked. And here comes Steven Gerrard, the man who everyone who thought would have been the savior of Aston Villa. But unfortunately, as we can see now, in hindsight, what happened. No, under Steven Gerrard in the Premier League, Leon Bailey last season played 10 games and only registered 1 goal. That's the entirety of last season. My apologies. 12 games and 0 goals, 0 assists. That's the entirety of the last season. Now, fast track now to this season where Leon Bailey is finding form. But we all know what happened last season. It was lot of injury issues. Vast amount of injury issues last season. Thigh injuries, muscle injuries, ankle injuries. So there was numerous amount of injuries, which only saw him seeing 12 games right throughout this season, which was, a lot of people were saying that he was a flop of the season. A lot of people, Aston Villa fans, were saying that they don't know why the purchase was made. But in the same sense, those few appearances that he had, you can see glimpses of brilliance of what he can do and what he can bring to the team when he's fully fit. Nonetheless, only 12 appearances short a 38-game season. Totally not good enough. And a lot of people said, okay, that was definitely not a good season. And who would know what the player himself went through that entire season? It must have been really difficult for him because he's a big name coming in. He's the player that the big money was spent on. He should be the player that should be delivering goals and assists. And most of the time, he's in the medical facility on the bed getting or doing some level of recovery. So mentally, that must have been tough for him, and for him to come through that definitely shows the level of resilience that he has, which is something most of us, a lot of players don't have, and he had shown that he has a strength and guile. Now, moving on from that now, coming into I should look at it. Overall, his goal contribution per is actually 0.41%. In totality, I think it's 0.41. That's basically a goal or an assist every 2 games, which is something that I do like. Now, what happened? Why there's this big drop off from Leon Bailey since he hit the Premier League? That is a big question. Why was this massive drop off? Now, remember, this is the same Leon Bailey that was playing in Europa League against Premier League opponents and also playing well against Premier League opponents. But what was the problem? What caused the drop off? Yes, we understand that there was injury. Yes, we understand that coach on a personal aspect, the injuries played a big factor. But one of the main reasons why there was this big drop off between Leon Bailey performances prior to coming to the Premier League and coming to the Premier League, there's 2 things. Adaptation to the Premier League. A lot of players take time to adapt to the Premier League, and then now the physicality. But the third big factor is that internal aspects of what was happening at Aston Villa. Many may not know, but there was a lot of issues going on at Aston Villa, internal factors. So these are all factors which can affect a player performances. People can say, okay, there are other players who join team with a lot of issues and they still turn out and grind out performances, but that's not for every player, especially a player who's coming from a new league down in Bundesliga. It's not that easy or as simple as most people would have looked at it. Now, nonetheless, Dean Smith got fired. The coach that was that had trust in him got fired. His future was in, how can I put it now? I think question marks were over his head because new coach coming in, despite Steven Gerrard making it openly clear that he has Leon Bailey in his plans, but when he realized that a lot of games have been going by, even when Leon Bailey is fit, he has Leon Bailey on the bench. And so even his manager came out and spoke openly about the situation. Then now I realized that when he started to use Leon Bailey, his system did not suit the type of player that Leon Bailey was. So it makes it really, really difficult. Really, really difficult. Now, the reason why I created this video is I'm saying that a new and reformed Leon Bailey. That is what we're likely to see. A new and reformed Leon Bailey. So I've listed all the things. I've listed what his future was like before joining Aston Villa, what his numbers were like, what his goal contributions were like, and also definitely what his seasons were like under both Steven Gerrard and Dean Smith at Aston Villa. So I've listed out all of those things. Now, new manager stepped in, Unai Emery. They have played a few friendlies in recent time, and when you go across Twitter, you realize that the Aston Villa fans are loving what they're seeing. I'm not really in tune with a lot of those friendlies. I've seen a few of them, but not all of them. It's mid-season, and Aston Villa had played a few friendlies so far, and they are loving Leon Bailey. Why is that so? Why is the vast difference between last season, injury woes, being on the bench, on the misused by previous manager? Why is it now that the Aston Villa fans are glutting over Leon Bailey? First, the potential, the quality was always there. That's the first thing. Secondly, here comes a manager, playing style that suits Leon Bailey. How do I know that? Now, when Unai Emery was at Arsenal, Unai Emery specifically played a particular style of play. The game, he played a way open football, expansive transition football. That is how Unai Emery played. And with that style of play, that is where you can see a player like Leon Bailey flourishing. Why is that so? Check back now to when he has some of the better numbers at Bayern Leverkusen. That's where he has some crazy numbers. They played open, expansive football, transition football. And Leon Bailey was a key factor in that, i.e. because of his pace and his trickery and his technical ability in front of goal. That is the reason why he scored so much goal, he registered so much assists when he was at Bayern Leverkusen. So when he came here in Aston Villa team, yes, despite injury woes and those things, when he came here, Steven Gerrard played a more clustered, rigid technical based type system in which most of the players that were at Aston Villa, it didn't necessarily suit any one of those players. So that made it difficult for not only Leon Bailey, but other players in the team to really play to their full potential. Now, I do believe that we're going to see a different Aston Villa now under Unai Emery, because most of those players that are playing in that team are players who are more suited to a transition type football, similar to what Dean Smith was. Dean Smith was building a team for transition, but nonetheless, he didn't have all the qualities that is in the team right now, but that is his style of play, and that's the reason why he got a Leon Bailey. Now, Unai Emery, a similar type of coach, a transitional type of coach, comes in play. You will see a lot more from Leon Bailey. You will see more goals. You will see more assists. I.e., since Unai Emery took over, I think Leon Bailey has played 3 games under Unai Emery, registered 1 assist and 2 games with match averages over 7.0, which means that he's actually overperforming under Unai Emery versus what he has done under both Dean Smith and also Steven Gerrard. Why is that so? As I said, statistically speaking, it has to do with the manager's style of play and how they approach the game. Unai Emery, more expansive, more of a transition, definitely. All right, so let me jump in the comment section. So last season, for the Premier League, last season, I think he had 18 appearances, 1 goal, 2 assists. Under Unai Emery, 3 appearances, 1 goal, 0 assists. Under Gerrard, 10 appearances for, I think this was last season leading up to now. Okay, so it's actually this season. 10 appearances, 1 goal, 1 assist. So far, Leon Bailey under Unai Emery has superseded what he has done under the previous managers. Let me go. Jay Dice said checking in during work. Big up Jay Dice. Marsha, big up Lee Grove. I have not been getting my any notification. I'm not sure. I'm not sure because I've done so much show, Marsha, and I've been wondering. I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna check YouTube on that because there has to be something. I don't know what the problem is. I really don't know what the problem is, Marsha, because I've done so much programs and I haven't seen in a while. So I'm hoping that you're okay. I thought that maybe you kind of took a break off the internet. Jacob shut up, big up. In terms of JC win Champions Cup, JC win Champions Cup. Yes, JC won Champions Cup. Interpreted. What was the score? We score interpreter. I think they won it 2-1. 2-1 they won it. I'm not getting notified either, but nevertheless, David Beckham said, big up MG. I knew Chippy from KC days and trust me, MG. If he continues, he will be a star. Squilici said he has been good since he has been 100% true. In terms of Liam Bailey is currently the best playing player on Aston Villa. The only player I would put above him is Danny Ings, and that's because he has more goals. Now, on a technical, all right, so there's different type of players. Liam Bailey is their best winger. In regards to quality-wise, I would say Coutinho, Buendia, these guys are top-notch quality. Top-notch quality. But in regards to attacking force, natural winger, Liam Bailey is their best winger. In terms of the team lacking quality, Javon Play said, big up Trayvon Reed. Yeah, Trayvon Reed signs for Oakland Roots in the USL. So massive respect to you on that, Trayvon Reed. Hopefully, we look forward to hear you scoring, our senior scoring crazy amount of goals and doing what you did in the JPL. A lot of players will be leaving this season from the JPL. A lot of players. But we'll see how that one goes. So people, as I said, a new and reformed Liam Bailey under Unai Emery because of how Unai Emery plays. And I had to give you guys some details prior to Unai Emery's takeover to let you guys know that the quality is there, but definitely when he arrived in the Premier League, something was lacking. And now Unai Emery can definitely get the best out of Liam Bailey because of the type of manager that he is, because of how he trains his team and how he coaches him. So people, massive respect. Hope you guys are doing good, and I'll see you guys again. Until next time, people, MG Sports TV, we are out.